We have a video. Policymakers by spreading awareness, education, research, and skill training in design. This is the first ever Odisha Design Week, and our theme for this year is culturally connected. A quick note: there are some changes to the schedule today. Daniel Sim from the Australian Consulate will be with us at 5:30 p.m. today, and artist Jatin Das will be joining at 5:45 p.m. today. As always, we welcome your questions and comments right through the day. Please use the appropriate tabs for questions and comments. If you're posting on social media, please use the hashtags ODW2021 or Odisha Design Week. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our first speaker for today, Tanu Sinha. Tanu is the head director and head of design at PepsiCo India. She's a graduate of NID in visual communications. Her areas of expertise include design leadership, strategic design thinking, corporate and event branding, packaging design, broadcast, design research, design management, people management, and international trends. Tanu, you have 45 minutes, followed by Q&A. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Suresh. Very, very kind of you. Very kind of you to welcome me. I'm very honored and happy to be presenting at Odisha Design Week today. It's a great pleasure. Thank you to Paresh also, who's been able to put this great event together, especially in the times of pandemic. Is my screen visible? I'm just
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Could you just stop sharing and share once again? There might be a yes. It's
I'll just try again. Is my
it's visible now.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's start. So a big hello to everyone and namaste from PepsiCo Design India. Guys, I'm very happy to be presenting on behalf of PepsiCo Design. A big welcome to all the people who are attending this session today. I really look forward to a very engaging and conversational this one hour that we have. Suresh has given me 45 minutes, so I will try and finish before that, and then I would really encourage all of you to ask as many questions as you would like to, and I'm very happy and delighted to answer all of them. So over and above what Suresh has already told about my professional introduction, I also want to tell a little bit more about myself at a more of a human level as a person. So I'm of course a very proud designer from NID. I'm a design leader at PepsiCo. I'm a home cook. I love to cook whenever I get time. I love to cook for my family, for my husband, for my child, for my parents. I'm a travel enthusiast. Obviously, the world has changed drastically in the past 2 years. I've not really been traveling to be on the safe side, but I love to travel both in India and globally. And thankfully my work also provides me various opportunities to travel to various parts of the world, so it also helps me learn and grow as a person. I love brands. I love to be surrounded by brands. I've built a lot of small and big brands, and I've been lucky to have the opportunity to build them, so I love them. I love to know about them, talk about them. And I'm a plants lover, so anybody who knows me personally, who's visited my house, and everybody's welcome to do so. I love my plants. I really derive a lot of strength and energy and vitality from the plants, and they're really a true source of hope and happiness for the mankind. So moving on from myself to PepsiCo Design, let me introduce PepsiCo Design today. So we are an in-house design team. We work as an incubator of ideas, innovation, creativity, design and design thinking. We are more than 350 designers globally. We in India, we started operations in 2019. So we are a design team of 7 of us in India. And Globally, we have various design offices, starting from New York, where our first design office was built, then in Chicago, Austin, Moscow, Shanghai, where we have another very strategic design center, a big one, London, Mexico City, New Delhi. So we are based out of Gurgaon in PepsiCo headquarters, Dublin, Cairo, which is a new office, design office that we've recently opened up a couple of months ago. Bangkok, which is again an office we work very closely with, and then a very new office that we've just opened up in South Africa with a small team there. As I mentioned, we're based out of New Delhi, Gurgaon. It's a very interdisciplinary team that we have at PepsiCo Design. So we have brand designers. Also, you can call them graphic designers, industrial designers, innovation designers, environmental designers. We do packaging design, both in terms of structural design and graphic design, food design. So, we work with all cross-functional partners to really look into new ways of how we can add value to the business. So in terms of food design, fashion design, how we can really take our brands to really sort of helping our brands become really the lifestyle choices for our people. In India, we are primarily working in the space of brand design and packaging design. This slide is going to give you a bit of an overview in terms of a more detailed insight into what do we mean when we say brand development or design strategy. So any project that we work on internally, we always start with the design strategy. So we develop portfolio strategies for our brands, our local and global brands. We do channel strategies that how do our brands travel across the various channels that we have. We do pack architecture because some of our portfolios are vast and complex, and it's important to create an architecture so that you can enable future launches and really grow the brands that we have right now. We build consumer journey maps. We do brand development, so right from identity development to VIS to packaging. Then we also develop moment of choice, point of sale elements. We interestingly do a lot of experience and activation based work across various global offices. We do digital UX UI based work. We do structural packaging, we do equipment design, we do food design, and we do all of this internally by working very closely with all the cross functional partners within the organization. We are very proud that we have more than 1,500 design awards globally. In India also recently we won a lot of design awards. So I think for a new team it was commendable. We win design awards across all the global design credible design awards, from Red Dot to GD USA to Creativity Awards to IF, and this is something that we take a lot of pride in because it really helps us keep elevating our work every day. It's also testimony of the work that we do internally. So this is something that we really focus on and we are very proud of. Now, this was more about us. Now, this is a design event. It's a design conference. I'm assuming a lot of audience today is design students and design professionals and veterans and design lovers. And I want to ask a very simple question here. And the question is, what is design? How do we define design? And I know that every professional, every designer, they have their own definition of design, but there is a very fundamental universal definition of design, and that is, design is all about problem solving. Now, that problem solving can be about less complex problems, or it could range up to problems that are highly complex. So, it could be a simple problem that we might be solving as a designer of just creating a symbol. It could be in a form of a logo and identity, to something slightly more complex, like a product. It could be a product, it could be a tool, it could be a furniture, it could be a medical equipment. It could just be a simple artifact, which would just sit on a table and add value to the aesthetics around. Any everyday object in our life that we use, which has some functional or emotional or aspirational value that it brings to our life. It could be slightly even more complex problem, like an interaction or an experience, like it could be a service, it could be an activation. And then moving on to even more larger and complex problems like systems, where we create ecosystems, we create environments. So problem solving is what design is all about. It's just that the complexity would vary from less to more complex. Now, two examples I want to talk about today, and considering this is Odisha Design Week, we are taking a lot of pride in our local culture and local design that we do, and we're taking a lot of pride in the local design culture we have. I want to cite two Indian indigenous examples of great problem solving. One is this highly recognized and much spoken about example of a lota that we have. Now, there is no English word for it, so I'm calling it a lota. This is a unique object that was designed in India. It was designed for Indian people. It comes in it is made in different materials, from terracotta to copper to brass to steel. It's got this spherical shape. It's got a scoop neck. It's very easy to hold. And the best about part about the lota is that it serves various purposes in an Indian household, and most of the Indian households have it. So sometimes it works as a canister, sometimes it just works as a storage container for water, or any other object that you may have. It works as a stackable container also. So it serves multiple purposes, and in different sizes it has a different problem to solve. So it's a unique example of how we solve problems which are very culturally driven, and we solve in our own context, in our own way, and they're extremely successful. And Lota has been with us for generations, and it's going to be with us in a very, very, very long time. Another example I want to talk about here is about Mysore sandal soap. Now, in 19th century, and this is an interesting anecdote that a lot of you might even know about, is that in 19th century Mysore produced an excess of sandalwood, and this was the time when the manufactured soap and the packaged soap was sort of catching people's attention and fantasy, and people had started using manufactured soap. And the Maharaja of Mysore at that time, King Nalwadi Krishna Raja, he decided to use sandal in the soaps, and he started a government soap factory. Uh, and he started manufacturing this soap. And initially, it was launched in a butter paper packaging, and then eventually in a more commercial packaging that you see on the left side. And interestingly, this packaging is something that has lasted for centuries. It still is sold in that packaging. So this is another example of how, when we try and solve a problem in a very true manner, which is very relevant to the people who are going to use it, the design really stands the test of time, and it is so relevant and it is so celebratory. So these are two examples that I wanted to sort of share with the group today. And in light of that, problem solving is all about people. Problem solving is for people. Now, how do we solve these problems? We solve these problems by creating something new, something beneficial, something that's pleasant to use, it's desirable. And in nutshell, it's design is all about people, because design is all about problem solving. Now, who are these people? Especially in the current modern context of the lives that we live, people are experts, people are savvy, and people are demanding. So it probably 10 years back or even 5 years back, when you went to a store to buy something, you were dependent on the salesperson who was recommending a product. Now the things are different. Everybody is an expert, because social media has really opened this wide world in front of us, where you can read, you can gain knowledge, you can share knowledge, you can share experiences, you can recommend. So it's really, everybody really is an expert today, and we are all savvy, we are all learning about new technologies, and we are sharing them every day. And we've become demanding, because the world has opened up. We see products from different parts of the world, we see their advantages, we see what it has to offer to the people, and hence we've all become very demanding. The people have become different to categorize, because it's become difficult that this product would only work for a certain ethnic group or for a certain age group. Because I think, as I said, with social media, with people engaging across platforms, The world is changing. It's become very difficult for people to be categorized. And people are sharing 24 by 7. People are building on each other's emotions and knowledge. And the world that we live in, and especially in the world that we're talking about today, the world that we see, has changed drastically in past 2 years. Today we are having this design event virtually, and we are connecting with each other virtually, sitting from our own, home offices or our houses and bedrooms and living rooms. So we are living in a world which is physical, and as much as physical, it is digital, and sometimes even more. So the world has completely changed. The dynamics has changed. We are always looking for experiences, and we're looking for products which have meaning, and people want to purchase with a purpose. And more interestingly, people are proud of their culture. I think people are proud of their culture ever than before. Okay? And this culture is evolving. So as the world is changing, the culture is also evolving. We are people who are, uh, at one level, deeply rooted in traditions, and on the other end, we are ready to embrace the new. And I think India is a great example of that. We live in this multifaceted society where, both we are both embracing our culture and the traditions and the new age ways of living, in an equal measure. And as designers, we always have an opportunity, and we love to connect with people through our global brands at PepsiCo. And we do this by designing localized and culturally relevant experiences. In PepsiCo portfolio, as you would know, we have a lot of global brands, and it's, as a designer, we have this great power invested in us, that how can we make these brands more relatable to people, of different cultures, of different geographies, following different religion, having different food practices, having varied, taste in music and dance and beliefs. And as designers, we at PepsiCo, we always leverage these opportunities by being empathetic, by really understanding what people want, who people are, what do they love, what do they desire, what do they really need, by being culturally connected. And we love doing that by celebrating local art, by collaborating with local icons and everyday heroes, especially during pandemic. There's so many people, everyday people, our neighbors, our families, our friends, they've become heroes. They've saved lives. They've helped each other, right? So we've really come together. I think as a mankind, we've come closer. We've come together by participating in local festivals, by sharing love for local food. And on that note, I want to today share some of the case studies which really truly reflect this thinking that we have at PepsiCo Design. And it connects back to the theme of the design event today, which is culturally connected, right? So I want to talk about some of the case studies that we're working on in PepsiCo. We worked on and we've launched these products. And the work that we've done, we've tried to keep it very culturally connected, to the people that we had designed these things for. So the first case study today is about Lay's wafer style. This is a product that existed in South India. It's a wafer style chip, unlike the Lay's rich chip that we have. And this pack existed, for a while, and it was not able to find differentiation for itself. We revamped the packaging to really use this banana leaf, which is very iconic of semiotically very close to the Indian food culture in South of India, right? Anybody who's lived in South India or knows of that culture, banana leaf is something that immediately comes to our mind. And we created this iconic packaging, and it did extremely well, because the moment you look at it on the shelf, that this is for me. If you're a South Indian, this is for me. If you love South Indian food, that this is something that's going to go with my South Indian meal. So again, an example of how responding to a brief or creating something which is culturally relevant really, really resonates with people. My second case study or example is I want to share about this campaign that we launched at the onset of pandemic in India, last year. This campaign is called Lay's Heart Work. By heart work, we mean that, that during pandemic, I think everybody has really put their heart and soul into everything that they've done. And we launched this campaign, to celebrate people, to celebrate the people of this country. Everyday people, everyday heroes. It was a long campaign with various stages. What I'm going to talk about today is this small part that where we collaborated with more than 100 artists all over India. Uh, and we collaborated with Smiles Foundation. We asked these artists to create work, which was eventually sold, and the benefit that came out of it was actually helped to provide health kits to workers across India. We use these artworks to really celebrate the hard work of all the artists on our lace bags. So this was really our way of giving tribute to all the artists in India who had contributed to the initiative and really helped people. People who were people like sanitary workers. People who've been, while some of us were privileged enough to be sitting at home during the pandemic, there were so many of us who were out on the roads helping each other, doing stuff like truck drivers or storekeepers, etc. So this campaign was really a tribute to a very purpose driven campaign, which is tribute to all those people. Very successful. But I think the true success of this campaign was how we were able to celebrate our culture, celebrate what we thought, and really celebrated the partnership that we all had during these COVID years. This is another example. Is something that we launched in February this year. These packs we launched around Valentine's. Lay's Love packs. We launched them with two limited edition flavors. We really wanted to celebrate this Cosmo culture of love, and Valentine's has really become part of our lives. And this was a tribute to that great event, to that moment of spreading love and joy and positivity. The idea was, when two packs come together, they create something, they create a heart. And then there was this great activation that we did, where we extended it to all kinds of relationships, so committed, single, long distance, and it was received very well by the people, and people really engaged with our brand. So I think another example of how we can do stuff which is culturally relevant, and an example of when I say culture is evolving, there are so many things that we are adopting from what is happening all over the world, and it's beautiful. I think this melting point is something where really the beauty lies. This is an interesting one, something that I really love. This was last year in Diwali. We collaborated with a really iconic young fashion designer we have in India, Masaba. And she created these beautiful kurkure packs for us. We did these for our influencers. Again, very iconic of Diwali. The moment you see it, you know it is for Diwali. We had these beautiful flowers on it with Diwali motif. And again, this was a salute to our Indian culture, our tradition, and we did it with Kurkure because Kurkure is an indigenous Indian brand. Again, a brand we are very powerful of, very proud of. Pepsi Money Heist is another campaign we did recently. Massively successful, something very close to our heart again. And this was interesting because, Money Heist is a global show, right? I mean, it's a show which is not from India, but we know that Money Heist has a global fan following. And Pepsi, interestingly, did this partnership with Netflix, and we launched these limited edition golden cans in India. Very iconic on the shelf. Very successful. A lot of PR value got generated. We also extended it to merchandise, and every time we extend our campaigns and our brands to merchandise, this is really a moment for us to celebrate with people. People who engage with our brands on an everyday basis. So this is again work that we really enjoyed working on with all the cross-functional team at PepsiCo, and it was very well received by our consumers, our people, our brand lovers, friends of brands. So something again we are very proud of at PepsiCo Design. Now I want to take you to the Shera festival in India, which is a festival of, again, symbol of victory of good over evil. And we wanted to develop these limited edition packaging for the celebration of Durga Puja and Navratri in India. So we did this with 7 Up. And this is the packaging that we launched. We wanted to keep the codes of 7 Up, of Durga Puja. And we really leveraged Fido, who's our brand asset, very fun loving, very engaging. And we really, sort of made Fido participate in a Durga Puja event, symbolically speaking. And we launched this packaging. It was again very well received. We did similar work with Navratri in the West because, interestingly, the Shera is a time which is celebrated. The festival is celebrated differently in different parts of the country, and it is so unique. And it is so interesting, and it's visually so colorful and so vibrant. It's something that was worth celebrating. So we took it to our packaging. We used this Indian textile motif from Gujarat, embroidery style, and we took it to our packaging. Then we also developed it. So these were launched almost in parallel because it was at the same time as the Shera. We did these beautiful merchandise with kurta, etc., nice bags, for young people to really, associate with. And then we extended the design to a lot of other elements. So based on what I just shared, we can really connect with our people, leveraging design by being consistent and authentic across touch points and across geographies. So while I shared most of the work that we've done in India so far, I also want to take you out of India a bit, and I want to share some of the work that we've done in China. So this is an image from Shanghai Fashion Week. We did an activation with Pepsi. It's an ongoing engagement. We every year participate in Shanghai Fashion Week for a couple of years now. We tend to launch limited edition Pepsi packaging. We create entire activation around it. It's a great moment for us to engage with our people. This is one of the limited edition packaging we did for Shanghai Fashion Week. This is something we created for Egypt. And again, this is an example of how celebrating local food is a great way to celebrate people, because food is a great part of our culture. So this is something that we did for Egypt. Egyptians, they love their food. They take a lot of pride in their food. So this packaging, this campaign was really about celebrating all different kinds of foodies. So we did this limited time edition launch. It was launched in Saudi and some other parts in the Gulf. It was loved by the consumers. I'm going to take you through some of the pictures here, some of the key visuals. So basically, we were celebrating different kinds of foodies. So we used these different kind of hand gestures with different kinds of food that was relevant to the region, a very contextual, vibrant, lovely imagery we created. And this is the work that we did for Bangladesh, 7 Up Ramadan. Again, a festive LTO, a festive campaign. Again, an opportunity for us to engage with local people in a very culturally relevant way. So we created this beautiful imagery with a very iconic symbol of Ramadan, which is the moon. These were some of the cans. Then we also extended it to point of sale elements. This is a beautiful one because here you really see a local person from Bangladesh interacting with the packaging there. So we make sure that whatever we create is something that people love. It's very relevant. It's very contextual, and it really helps the brand and business. And this person is speaking. I'm sorry, does not have a voice right now, but so yeah, this was a great one again. This. I just wanted to share this style to show you, and it's not possible to talk about every project in this session. But some of the work that we've been doing globally across the offices, a lot of work you see here is from China, is from Thailand, and it's very festival-oriented work, either very specific to a certain festival in that region or a certain specific, food genre or a food preference, and that is what makes the work so successful and so relevant and so loved by the people. These are the examples of a lot of activation work that we do, leveraging our brands in a lot of parts of the world. And really, it's a great moment of pride and joy for us to be able to do that, because every day it really gives us a new opportunity to connect with our people. And as a result, we generate more brand love at the end of the day. We bring our brands closer to our people, and that continues to be our endeavor. We generate pride and we make people our brand ambassadors, because the moment anybody sees a nice Pepsi packaging or a nice Lay's packaging and they take a picture of it, and they post it on social media, is the moment where we really feel that people are becoming our brand ambassador, and this is something that we really love, and we continue to strive for. This is again some of the examples of a lot of merchandise, lifestyle-based work that we're doing, leveraging our fantastic global and local brands. So these pictures are from all over the globe. Some of the work you can see is leveraging our local Pepsi swag campaign. Then the work that has happened in North America and Europe and China, everywhere. And in the end, guys, I mean, I've spoken a lot today. My last message would be that let's stay connected, stay curious. It's important to stay connected to our roots, because I mean that's what inspires us, that's what makes us, and inspiration is really around us. So let's use that, let's leverage it, and let's continue to do great design work. Thank you so much. And I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you, Tanu. Just wait for you to stop sharing and then I'll take questions from the audience.
Sure.
My first question to you is how do you judge the success or failure of any of your design work?
So there are various parameters, Suresh. One is obviously the business success. So whatever goal that we had set out for ourselves in terms of business, it should have a like a, it should add to the revenue generation. It should add to the sales, etc. So that is obviously first measure of success. The second measure of success is the PR value that we generate. The media value that we generate. So it's a measure of how our consumers are engaging with our brand. And then design awards. That's another success of measure of success for us, which is a more design or a creative measure. Because I mean, as a design function, it is very important for us. And again, I mean, any positive sentiment that we are able to generate with the work that we have, any positive change we are able to do, are all measures of success for me. And then how happy we are at the end of the day, while
Important.
working on it. So do we feel happy? Do we feel happy with what we've created? Is another measure of success, in my view.
We have a question from Sovan Suman, who says, how do you consider the environmental impact? I'm sure you get this question a lot. Companies like Pepsi are accused of worsening environmental pollution significantly, litter especially. While designing packaging, how do you take environmental issues into consideration?
So sustainability is, yeah. Should I answer that question?
You can answer it, yeah.
Yeah. So sustainability is a great is a great agenda for us. By 2025, we have great targets on sustainability. We are constantly working towards it. Globally also there's so many initiatives that are going on. We can talk more about it. Maybe this is not the right forum. But sustainability is something that we keep in mind all the time. So either it is through introduction, either it is through what are the materials we are using. It's a constant ongoing agenda for us at PepsiCo. So we have high ambition for sustainability in the coming years, guys, and everybody will see a lot of great results. So we are really working towards it.
Tanu, the global shift away from packaged snacks, sugary drinks towards healthy foods, how is this impacting your design work?
It's a great opportunity for us again. What are the materials we are using? What are the substrates? We are using? It's actually, I think it has really opened up a new avenue for designers, right? And as designers, it's something that's very close to our heart. And especially the work that is happening in North America. There are so many products that are being launched, which are on health platform. So that is, I mean, it is something that has really opened up a lot of opportunities for designers. And we really approach it as any design problem, or as any design work for us. So fundamentally, we approach it in the same way, and we work towards it.
And when you look to hire people in your team, especially in a large company like Pepsi and as a design division in a large company, do you look for any unique abilities amongst designers that you hire?
We look for people with passion. We look for people who love design. We look for people who love life and who love culture. So we are obviously looking for the most talented designers, but I think over and above that, we are number one. We are looking for great people. We are looking for great human beings. People who can share the same passion as us. So I think that is something that we definitely look for, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings working with each other. So that is something that we definitely look for.
All right. Tanu Sinha, thank you very much for talking to us on the Odisha Design Week and giving us a glimpse into the workings of the design studio at PepsiCo India. It's a fascinating journey you've taken them through. And as you can see from the comments, the fact that you're integrating culture and local influences into the design work is very, very heartwarming indeed.
Thank you so much, Suresh. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you to everyone who came to listen, and all the very best for the rest of the event. And really look forward to more in the coming years. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, it's time for a quick break. Our next session will begin at 3 p.m. India time, where we will meet Paul Sandeep, critically acclaimed industrial designer. That's at 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and I'll see you then.